everything. So thank you for your time, especially on a Sunday, so that you find time to be part of this presentation and hear what we have to announce. And also, especially, we have a special guest today because we have the first time Charles, our head of trading, risk management, and market making, who will do the presentation on NEXDEX. Yeah, thank you for your time. And today we stand, I think, at an exciting crossroads as we embark on the next chapter of NEXDEX. Over the past months, we have been focused on building and implementing nearly every foundational aspect of our ecosystem for Axiom, as you know. So it was a hard work. We had hard times and nice times, as always. And now it's time to shift gears and focus on NEXDEX, where our vision of decentralized future truly comes to life. And our immediate plans include launching the testnet within the next few months, an important milestone in our journey. Along the way, we will share, of course, updates and developments, and we will need your participation also to ensure this project grows in alignment with the needs and aspirations of our community. Your involvement will be key, of course, as we prepare for this new phase together with you, and stay tuned for further announcements in the next weeks and months ahead. Together, we are shaping, I think, a more innovative, decentralized, and collaborative future with NEXDEX. So let's dive into the details of what makes NEXDEX exceptional and how you can be part of this transformative journey. So thank you again. Thank you also, Charles. So we can start with the presentation.
Thank you very much, Alex, for the introduction, and thank you everybody for joining. Yeah, I'm Charles, looking after the trading for NEXDEX. Find DeFi absolutely fascinating. I've been in the space for 5+ years now, trading on a variety of decentralized and centralized exchanges and cross-spot and derivatives, and really want to bring to NEXDEX sort of the best of breed that I've seen, and help the platform grow. So today's presentation, we're gonna just start with a ecosystem, DeFi ecosystem overview. Just want to make sure before we get into the nitty-gritty on NEXDEX that everyone will start from a bigger picture, and then the second part will be drilling down into NEXDEX itself, give you an introduction. And then really, what sets us apart, because there are several players out in the market, but what's our vision and how we see ourselves as differentiated. Security and transparency. I come from a 20+ year risk management TradFi background, so these are if you don't have that, you're not going to get very far. So security and transparency are always at the forefront of what we're doing on both sides. I mean, Axiom and NEXDEX. And then we'll look at, as Alex mentioned, we'll look at our roadmap, what we've got plans down the future, and then just have a look at the community. So without further ado, let's get started. So when we talk about decentralized finance or DeFi ecosystem overview, I mean, what are we talking about here? Well, unlike centralized finance, decentralized finance is really, it's an emerging peer-to-peer system designed to get rid of unnecessary middlemen. So get rid of third parties and centralized institutions from the transactions that you're doing. Why do we have to pay the middleman? Why don't we just transact directly with each other and just make it more optimal transactions? So that's where the advantages of DeFi really is accessibility, low fees, security and transparency, as well as autonomy. Of course, these days with the regulatory framework, sometimes that autonomy can be questioned, but at the end of the day, you still want to keep your privacy and your transactions autonomous. Kind of the examples that that I find interesting in DeFi are more on the trading side. So NEXDEX will be a decentralized, we're going to start with perps. So, and then expand to spot and options. So, you know, DeFi platforms out there offering a variety of spot and perp exchanges. Also, you know, there's the lending yield farming side of things in DeFi, which is also very popular. We're going to really get into tokenization. That's an area that I find there's a lot of room to grow. And Alex and I have been discussing and, you know, looking at what's going on in the ecosystem, what the competitors are doing, and trying to, you know, take the sort of the best of breed model and bring that over to NEXDEX. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that further down in the presentation. Prediction markets. I don't know if anybody traded on the Trump election. These are getting quite popular. Polymarket, for example, a spot exchange for prediction markets, and that's something that we're gonna be examining as well. And then finally, NFTs. See another growth area. I would say it's coming back. It's been quite volatile, but that's another you know, a potential DeFi growth area as long as you get the the model right. That's the main concern there. Okay, so let's look now more drilling down in DeFi more on to the trading side. So what is a DEX, decentralized exchange, AMM, or automated market maker? DEXs are think of them as like fundamental building blocks within the digital asset ecosystem. So what does a DEX platform let you do? Well, you can trade directly digital assets directly with each other or via liquidity pools, which really eliminates the need for a centralized entity, again, or a counterparty to execute the trade. So on a DEX AMM style model, like we're talking, you can see from the graphs there, things like Uniswap or Curve or Pancake Swap. So these DEX AMMs, they're basically facilitating liquidity creation in both an automated and decentralized fashion. So you can park your token, you can park your, you know, it's usually 50-50, you park whatever token you're interested in, you know, collecting fees on into these AMMs. And the growth has just been extraordinary into these AMM type models. Now, I think the main DEXs by TVL earlier this year, that's some total value locked, where Uniswap, Curve, and Pancake Swap taking about almost 3/4 of the overall TVL for DEX AMMs. So DEX AMMs are, you know, they have their strengths and their weaknesses. Now, for NEXDEX, we're going to go a bit of a different route. We're going to go the DEX CLOB route. The CLOB standing for Central Limit Order Book style model. So what's the difference between a DEX AMM and a DEX CLOB? Well, let's see. Well, actually, let's start with what's the same. So they're both on-chain, but unlike in an AMM, where the price is determined by an algo, in a CLOB, or a centralized limit order book, similar to what you see in TradFi, you know, on New York Stock Exchange, the asset price is determined by the market. So buyers and sellers are coming in onto the CLOB, onto the central limit order book, and placing the trades there directly. So in a CLOB, you can actually see the order book and you can see the market depth, whereas in the AMM style model, you're looking more at a liquidity pool. So again, just to you know, high level looking at DeFi AMMs and DeFi CLOBs. So NEXDEX is going to be an example of a DEX CLOB style model. Okay, so let's get even further into the weeds. So what is NEXDEX? Well, we're going to start as a decentralized perpetual exchange hosted on its own layer 1 blockchain, offering full transparency and high performance. We're going to be on Cosmos. We're going to feature a unique reward system with our own NDT tokens. I'm sure everyone's familiar with the Axiome coin on the Axiome side. NEXDEX as well will have its own NDT token, and we'll get into the specifics about what's going to make that a strong contender in DeFi space. And really, we're going to be incentivizing trading and liquidity provisioning. That's, the bread and butter to bring liquidity onto the platform to get, traders interested in our platform, and also allowing, to earn some stable income via staking. Now let's see what makes this different. Well, again, perps, and for those of you who we're going to look at perps a little bit down the road. They're similar to futures contracts, which are of course prevalent in TradFi and also in crypto, but they don't have any expiration date. And we'll look at perp mechanics a little bit further on in the presentation. But for just so I'm not losing anybody on this slide, yeah, perpetual swaps or perps, that's what they are. So we'll start with perps, and then we're going to look at spot trading and options trading down the road. We've got experience in both TradFi and crypto as well, 5+ years. So myself and with the team. So we'll be leveraging that experience to get those additional products up, soon after the perps get launched. And what do we want to do with the platform itself? One has sat through very kind of clunky GUIs and user interfaces. We want to really make it as user-friendly as possible. So we don't, we spend a lot of time, the developers and trading discussing, how we can make the interface as easy to follow as well. Nobody wants to be scrolling through 10 different screens. You want to have everything, at your fingertips. So, easy for novice and professional traders to really, understand how the GUI works and spend time focusing on trading, not trying to decipher some, bespoke or not user-friendly interface. Now, again, what do we differentiate? Why are you on the call tonight listening to Charles speaking? Well, we really see NEXDEX as an opportunity to leverage, what we've seen work and doesn't work in DeFi space for the last, 5+ years, and leverage that knowledge as well as TradFi knowledge, and bring it, onto the platform. So things like that might be, tokenized asset, domain knowledge. Tokenized asset is every day it's, there's banner headlines, but we want to make sure we get it right on NEXDEX if we're going to offer that product. And I'll discuss a little bit further in the presentation, give you some more color on that. So yeah, so we're looking at other products as well, things like ETH staking swaps, which I find quite fascinating. I don't know how others are looking at the market. Names like Rocket Pool or Lido, or Caesar, an index offered by Coin Funds. So we're talking with one of the major players to get an ETH staking type. Could be a swap, could be options. Get staking swaps listed on NEXDEX. Typically, you're seeing them now trade more OTC markets, but I think that trade, especially now with potentially ETH options coming on these ETFs, there might be some really good arbitrage opportunities there. So, just to recap, so, we're going to start with the standard perps, then spot options, but tokenized assets, RWA, and staking swaps. I think those are going to be the products that are really going to differentiate us and make NEXDEX something special. So yeah, so I mean, when we're talking about our flagship product, perp swaps, these have, these are really the bread and butter in both CeFi and DeFi space in crypto space. They're some people think they've actually sort of negated the or they've caused a slowdown in the in options rollout because they're just so versatile. So they're what are they? They're derivative contracts. They're similar to futures in that they allow you to go long or short an asset using leverage. Um, but unlike futures contracts, which typically have a quarterly or a weekly or whatever a fixed expiry date, perps don't have any expiration date. They're perpetual. They're open as long as you can maintain liquidity margin in your account and until you close them out. So what does that mean? Well, for futures contracts, the spot price and the futures price can diverge during a contract's life, as typically happens. But at the expiration of the futures, by definition, futures and spot price have to converge, or there'd be an arbitrage opportunity. Now, what do perps do as they never expire? How can we ensure that perps price is tied, keep some semblance of sanity with the underlying spot price? Well, perps use this periodic funding rate. It could be paid hourly, could be paid 8 hours. It varies across different platforms, different exchanges. But all it's doing, this funding rate, is keeping the perp price on par with the underlying spot price. What does that mean? Well, let's say spot price is 100 and the perp price is 150. So the perp price is higher than the spot price. Well, that would of course benefit long positions. So longs will then, when the funding countdown comes, say every hour or every 8 hours, longs will be, you could say, penalized, or they'll have to pay the funding charge to the shorts. And that might entail them perhaps closing their long position prior to having to pay that funding rate, which of course then will have a downward impact on the perp price, which will then bring it maybe down to say 140 or 130, say spot still at 100. So that's how it's working. It's the funding rate is really just think of it like a mechanism to ensure that at least at the funding windows, there is some convergence of perp price and spot price. Now, typically, if you look back in history, perps are typically longs are typically paying the funding rate. Not all the time, but that's typically the bias that longs are paying the funding rate to shorts. Now, if you look at perp funding rates on an annualized basis, well, you can see it gives you some insight into the extent of leverage in the market, and if the perp funding rates are really, really high, that could be an indicator of upcoming volatility as position maintenance becomes very expensive to maintain. So, if professional perp traders are always watching the funding windows, they could be doing arbitrages across exchanges, but if it gets too expensive for them, they will close out their positions prior to that window, that time coming up, and that could lead to some volatility in the market. So we got perps down. Now, other products we want to bring out after that are our spot, which will open up some, basis trading or arbitrage opportunities between spot and the perps. Options as well. We're looking to bring those out. Perpetual options are a product that been floating around for a while, but starting to get some concrete steps. I've seen some more development, some more research on this product. So, we're gonna be looking at that as well to see if we can bring it on board. Now, besides those, tokenized RWA, risk-weighted assets. This is a really strong growth area. I'm looking at multiple tokenized RWA issuers, players like PVO1 recently did a corporate on-chain tokenized bond issuance, as well as doing some treasuries. Alex and I, we've been discussing this. What do we want to do in this space? Well, to keeping the fact that we do see room for tremendous growth and will allow us to set us apart from the competition. We're going to use our skill set to offer tokenized assets on the platform. And we're looking at it through this so-called security token issuance scheme. Now, what are security tokens? Well, they're created using a process called tokenization. And there's some regulatory restrictions currently, but we've seen that slowly get relaxed. In the UK, they have their sandbox. They want to do digital gilts, which are the UK sovereign bonds on the chain here in Japan. There's similar initiatives underway. So we think that these regulatory hurdles are going to be removed, and we'll be hopefully able to get it. I don't want to put any hard time on it right now, but get it maybe by mid next year we could get something started on the platform. Probably we're going to start with the more liquid, say it could even just be just regular TradFi currency pairs or commodities to start with, not a bespoke piece of real estate, idiosyncratic piece of real estate. That might happen down the road, but we're looking more at the liquid underlyings to start on the RWA side. And besides the tokenized RWA, as we looked at before, we're leveraging our industry contacts now, and I've been talking with a major ETH staking benchmark provider in the US to perhaps potentially list staking swaps on NEXDEX. So these are tools that allow participants to manage risk and transaction costs around staking yields, Ethereum staking yields, and lock in a fixed return. Staking rates are volatile. They fluctuate based on underlying market price and other idiosyncratic components. But staking, you can use them to hedge or you can use them to speculate. And I think that they've got a tremendous amount of growth potential. Again, as I mentioned earlier, Lido, Rocket Pool, and Caesar, they're kind of the main ones. We're talking with one of them. So we'll look to offer this product and hopefully get your feedback. Let's maybe look a little more into the mechanics of what's the underlying tokenomics and how it works on NEXDEX exchange. I look at it sort of maybe a 3 arrows type approach for our NDT. That's our NEXDEX token acronym, our NDT token. What are these trading and staking rewards and tokenomics that we plan to offer? Well, one thing on the left there, you can see the tokenomics. We're going to max the supply at 500 million NDT tokens with a structured emission over approximately 5 years. And the rewards for trading. Well, you're going to be earning these NDT tokens based on trading activity, which is mandatory in this space, and hopefully that'll it'll be a positive energy feedback loop and further engagement and help boost the liquidity and your own profitability. Now, besides the trading rewards in the bottom right there, we've got staking rewards as well. So you can sort of up your rewards package. You can stake the tokens, which will open up the opportunity to get a share of network and trading fees. So really a win-win. You're not just getting the trading rewards, but you're going to be getting staking rewards if you are amenable to it on top of that. So it's we're studying what the competitors are doing, and we really want to offer a win-win to our client base on this regard. So we'll hopefully, give us feedback when we finalize it, and we'll make sure that that it's a win-win for everybody. Yeah. So again, just to recap, really, we've got the opportunity here on our platform, leveraging our experience, what we've seen work on other platforms, what we've seen doesn't work, to ensure that it's a positive experience on the platform. So you can hedge your risks in a highly secure environment. You can you're going to be open to receiving trading rewards and staking rewards as well. And again, as we mentioned earlier, DEX is a club. NEXDEX is a club, a DEX club type. So an order book type offering, not a DEX AMM like a Uniswap or a PancakeSwap. So we'll be leveraging where we can, what we see in on CeFi exchanges as well, on centralized exchanges as well, to give you the best user experience possible. And just to for those of you wondering, you see Axiom, and we've been quite athletic or energetic on that front with recent product offerings. How do they fit together? Well, in Cosmos world, they've got this IBC, which is basically a connector, which allows Axiom, which is its own layer 1 blockchain, the Axiom chain, to connect with NEXDEX, which again is its own layer 1 NEXDEX chain. So IBC is is sort of the link, the connector that brings both together. And we mentioned earlier, so 500 million NDT total supply, expected to allocate that over a period of around 5 years, in epoch terms, 75 epochs. And that just gives you some breakdown. So you can see the allocation to the founders and the team, to strategic investors, 14%. There's a network fees wallet to cover we've got several validators working for us, so to cover their fees, 2%. And then the trading rewards on the right side, so 40% allocation, 2.8 million NDT per epoch. And as well as this open liquidity program, looking at around 1 million NDT per epoch, 15%. And then finally, on the treasury side, just covering things like operational costs, development, marketing, partnerships, legal, listing, liquidity, etc. Those necessary costs to keep the business going, 14%. So that's really, just the mechanics of the tokenomics and the trading rewards, staking rewards, and the tokenomics for the NDT token. Maybe a little bit more background, or just for clarity's sake, on the NDT trading rewards, how it's going to work. So so every epoch, around 25 days, we're going to distribute 2.8 million NDT tokens. Now, distributions is made to the traders based on the amount of trading fees paid via the trading rewards, around 42% of the total supply, the total NDT emissions mined over the 5 years. The payout calculation, it's going to be every epoch at a certain time, 12 p.m. UTC, and no waiting around. You receive reward, which is going to go directly into your NDT wallet. You'll see it on the GUI. It'll be under the available category. Now, stake resulting NDT, and if you put it, with the validators on the next exchange, it's going to support both, network decentralization and allow you to earn not only the NDT income, but we'll have a stablecoin income component as well. That's the plan. Now, the The rewards are helpful. Basically just to get some secure, stable, stable income coming in both on NDT and on Tether side, via the program. So you're going to be paying some trading fees, but we hope that these rewards will offset that, and that's our that's thinking on our side. The link there, if you want to look more at at the features, is on the bottom right. And again, as we mentioned, so besides the trading rewards, we've also got the staking rewards details, and these again, we'll just you can see it's quite clear how we're going to set it up. We're going to be allowing you to participate in the continuous share of distributions of all the collected network trading fees on the exchange. So we're going to be paying rewards in Tether and NDT, and they're going to be 100% of all the network trading fees collected by NEXDEX. So we see that as very very attractive for those that want to come on and use our platform. Now the rewards are going to be dynamic, so each block signed by the validator, they're going to accrue on that basis to which you have staked. And bottom right here now, pardon me, bottom left. So unlike the trading rewards, the staking rewards, there's no 5-year limit. So they're going to be, they're going to remain even after the complete mining of the NDT supply is done. And we see hopefully that if we continue to scale up the the NEXDEX product offering like we looked at earlier, we continue to scale that into new markets and look at also cross-chain trading opportunities. We see that this by definition the staking reward payouts will should only increase due to the higher trading and network fee collections that we expect to see coming along. And how do you do it? Well, the mechanics are quite easy. It's just you'll have your wallet, and you'll choose a suitable validator, and you'll stake the entity with them. The larger you stake, the higher your share will be compared to other stakers, and therefore you'll get a higher proportion of the fees collected from each validator per signed block. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, if any questions, yeah, be sure to post them in the Telegram chat group, and we'll clarify. But that's how we see both the trading, NDT trading, and the staking rewards. We mentioned at the start of the game, for those in DeFi, CeFi space for several years, and and then players coming and going, hacking, of course, is and security, or if you don't get that right, it's it's game over. So we're using our TradFi, also our crypto, market risk and operational risk experience. I used to be head of risk at a crypto exchange here in Japan, so that's really learning the base of what needs to be done to protect the exchange, and we're just going to bring those skill set over and make NEXDEX a hacker proof. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to employ these FBA, so it's called frequent batch auctions algos, to prevent front running attacks on the exchange. And we're going to have our we're going to have as I mentioned, we're going to have an on-chain order book, CLOB type setup, so you're going to be able to see clearly what's going on. So that's those are the two sort of main points. Of course, there's more to it on the security side, but those are I think the main 2 points which differentiate us. And we started earlier. We want to make the trading experience as seamless, as easy to navigate as possible. So again, leveraging the team's experience on other, user interfaces, what works, what doesn't work. Some things I like is we've got a unique position view. So we can, we've really, the dev team especially, has really worked to make the challenge of scattered info when you're trying to monitor your positions, your portfolios. We've really, from what I've seen, done a breakthrough there in terms of the consolidation of all the trade data into a single position. So really, if you start to play around, when we get into the test net, public test net, you'll see that all the information is really there at your fingertips. You're not going to be cycling through various GUIs to get the information that you need. And this is you'll see it as it's integrated into a so-called collapsed position. So you'll have your data there, and you'll just it's just point and click, and you can see the level of granularity that you need. Which I find interesting and very helpful from a personal trading perspective. You'll see also you'll have your live details on various order types. You'll have take profit or stop loss or liquidations. You'll see all that very clear on the GUI. So there's no operational risk concerns on your side. Really at the bottom there, I mean, you'll see once you play around with it on the GUI, we'll hopefully do a demo at a certain date, which would be more easy to convey. You'll see that the position can be unfolded twice. So you'll unfold the first time you'll be unfolding, you'll see the data encompassing basically all the orders linked to the position, including funding, payments, etc. And then the second unfolding, you'll see right down to the order level. So as well as all the executed trades done with it. So this is this is taken what we've seen on other exchanges doesn't work and what works, and then really porting it over to NEXDEX to make your user experience as positive as possible. Okay, well, let's see. We're getting towards the end of it. Thank you very much all for your patience. Next steps. Well, we've for those of you who've got our social media links mentioned at that NEXDEX.pro site. So please subscribe if you like, so you don't miss launch date. We'll provide some further details on testnet launch expectation when it goes into public testnet shortly, along with participation guidelines. I'm working as well with the devs to get a trading academy set up, so we can help maybe more not only novice traders, but those maybe intermediate type traders who want to learn more about how perp mechanics work, how liquidation engines work, how the insurance fund works, how basis arbitrage type strategies work. So we'll set up a trading academy. It won't just be reading. I want to make it more interactive. So we'll have there'll be Q&As, there'll be quizzes. So hopefully we'll be launching that by the end of the year, at least the first iteration, and that'll I'm thinking help you with your trading. That's my my primary concern for or desire to do it. It's just disseminate the knowledge on how and what I've experienced for 5 years in trading in CeFi DeFi derivative space to our users. Just a little bit background on the team as we finalize or we close out here. Alex was kind to do the introduction, so he's CEO of Axiome and NEXDEX. Yusuf is a non-executive director, but 26 years experience in financial markets and fintech. Myself, I've 17 years TradFi risk experience, and then been trading with hedge funds and market makers in crypto space for about 5.5 years. And Jenny is our CTO. Yeah, there's just a little bit of blurb on Alex and myself. So really, that's what I wanted to get across today. More high-level overview. We'll start filling in the the more granular stuff as we go along. But hopefully, yeah, takeaways today was just to intro everybody to NEXDEX. Thanks very much for joining.
Charles, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. So I got some inquiries here. They want to see the real Charles Belfort. So if it's possible, because you have to know Charles has now, I think 10 p.m. right in Japan. He is sitting in Japan. So he's not the freshest now like we in Europe or where else. But maybe you can, if it's possible. I don't know if you're naked or not, but maybe
No,
you
no,
can.
no, no, no. I can. No, no, no. Happy to. But I wonder. Oh, well, here. Let me. No, here. Let's.
The
Okay.
camera, yeah.
Yeah. Bear with me here.
I think you can close the presentation. We
Yeah.
had some problems there. You have seen someone was drawing there, so but
No
at the
problem.
end we
Hey,
have
that's
seen.
cool. That's no worries.
Yeah.
Artistic types, go for it. Why not? But my camera, Alex, I don't.
In the left corner. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the left corner, you have to connect maybe to the video or to audio. I don't know why it's not working. Strange.
Bear with me here, guys. Let me I can maybe do it through my phone.
Yeah, guys, thank you also in parallel when you're searching, Charles. Thank you for your time. So as I introduced at the beginning already, so we will have more information on NEXDEX, on the next steps. We have some new news, let's say, that we will share also in the next weeks this year. With whom we are working, which plans we have in the future. We will update you or start also the social media with NEXDEX. We waited with this because we had some changes and some things that we had to prepare, and we were very busy with Axiome. But for now, we will have also a focus on NEXDEX. So we will see more and more in the social media, in the Telegram groups. And we would like really to have you all onboarded on the testnet in the near future, and to invite all your friends, because we need, of course, a lot of resources, manpower, who will test the complete ecosystem and NEXDEX together. Of course, the ecosystem in combination also with Axiome, you know how it's working, how it's combined, Axiome and NEXDEX. So we need a hard test to see what's happened here on the system, and if we were right and have set all the systems that are needed for thousands and 10,000s of people later in the mainnet. So you're all invited. Thank you again for your time. There's Charles. Hi, Charles.
Hey,
No,
am I
okay.
coming up? Okay, good.
So the technology was not the best today. It was not our friend, but at the end we had a good presentation. The first presentation from Charles also today for NEXDEX. We will see the next months, the weeks and months, more presentations, more information about NEXDEX. Also more communication, especially for you guys, where we can share everything with Charles together and discuss. And maybe we will have also some discussing rounds where we also will invite you to bring some questions with you. So for now, you have to understand more the ecosystem, NEXDEX itself. With the days, with weeks, we will open up also some possibility for you in the next discussions to ask questions and discuss immediately in the calls.